Jordi, this was a hard-fought game, and it went back and forth, especially there at the closing minutes. Just what would you say this one came down to down the stretch?
Number one thing, my mistake of keep doubling Giannis towards the end when we had a two-possession game. Probably we had to stay home and try to guard him one-on-one. I don't know if we could, but at that point, probably that would have been the best thing to do. So I take responsibility for that. Opened up the three-point line, and they made them. They're a good three-point shooting team. That's what they've been doing lately, and they made the threes. But the reality is, in the last 3 minutes of the third and the last 6 minutes of the game, I believe it was a minus 19 for us. And our defense was atrocious. And if our guys, the way they wear a Brooklyn Nets jersey, don't play harder defense, they don't have a place in our roster. And they know it. They take pride of defense. And we're going to watch film. So, that's how you win games. You lose games in the NBA. We didn't guard anybody in the last 3 minutes, in the last 6 minutes, last 3 of the third, last 6 of the fourth. So, got to be better.
What would you say you guys got away from defensively that stood out?
Yeah, how connected we were, our ball pressure, our shifts, all that went away because we were exchanging baskets and we were playing well offensively. I mean, you shoot 51% from the field, 46 from three, 94 from the free throw line, and turn over 13 times. So, I think that's a pretty good line. That means we lost the game because we couldn't guard. And I think at times we did a good job. We allowed 24 points in the second quarter. I thought it was a great quarter. And then all of a sudden we come out of the locker room and we gave up 67. So, again, not consistent enough, not good enough for our standards.
Jordi, in your mind, I mean, you're up a dozen with 3 minutes left in the third. I mean, is that just guys mentally kind of taking their foot off the gas in terms of their defensive intensity, or was it something else that you saw?
I mean, we went up, we made a run with that group, and sometimes when they make a run, you don't want to, break the run because sometimes it's only the right thing to do if it works. And I let them run, and then I subbed the bench. Obviously, it was pretty much everybody in, not at once, but maybe 4 players and 1 player. I know that's hard, but it should be no excuse to give up 13 points in 2 minutes. But then that was the second group, and then the first group didn't finish the game well either. So they scored 26 points in the last 6 minutes of the game. And if you look at the second quarter, we allowed 24 in the second. So obviously no defense, again, to finish that third, no defense to finish the fourth. And that's how you win and lose games in the NBA.
It felt like the offense slowed down, got a little stagnant towards the end of the game. In your mind, is that just a byproduct of not getting stops on the other end, or was there something specific about that?
For sure, and I had to run certain guys a lot of minutes, and they were physical, and we were just wrestling instead of playing, and that's tough. It was self-inflicted. When you take breaks and you don't play hard all the way through, then when you really need it, then you don't have it. So. We should have played faster. We should have got stops. Again, if you don't rebound, if you don't get stops, it's hard to run. It doesn't matter. Still, you look at the offensive line, it's pretty good. It's just our defense was, worse than bad.
You spoke about, not ending the double teams on Giannis soon enough, and then the three-point shooters got going. How hard is it to strike that balance when Giannis went off like he did in the third, and then you're trying to, hope that the percentages bear out in your favor?
Yeah, it's like what you do, you still do it aggressive. You force the catch out. You come double with a good angle. You rotate with urgency. We did it in the first half, and we defended the three-point line. So, again, at that point with a two-possession game, I own it. just probably stay home for a possession or two, and we got punished. But again, like we didn't do what we were supposed to, or what we did in stretches. We didn't do it consistently, and that connectivity and togetherness and communication and physicality was not there defensively, and that's why we took this loss.
Clax, I think we talked to you, trying to remember when we talked to you, I think that was Thursday, about kind of your aggressiveness in this offense, and felt like you kind of really tried to assert yourself offensively today. Was there anything that changed for you, anything that someone said to you, or just you kind of wanted to turn it up a little bit?
Yeah, I'm just getting my flow back. That's just me. Just playing more games, my body, everything just starting to come together, and I need to be aggressive for us, especially right now with Cam being out, missing some scoring.
When we talked to Jordi in here, he acknowledged he probably shouldn't have trapped Giannis as much late, gave up some of those easy threes, but he was also fairly critical of the defense to end the third and to end the fourth. What was his messaging to you guys in the locker room after the game, just about the defense at the end of the game?
Exactly what you just said. I mean, he took accountability, but that's good. But at the end of the day, it's on the players, it's on us out there to play with as much energy as possible. And there definitely was a dip at the end of the third, and then pretty much for most of the fourth quarter. So we have to be better.
This was probably your most active game this season. I know you said you'll be dealing with your back issue until it gets resolved. Was today, would you say it was because you're starting to feel like yourself physically? Is it something you saw going against Brook Lopez, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, I'm feeling better, and mentally, physically, and everything just coming together. Just knowing that my back's okay, so I'm trusting my body. I'm putting the work in, and I'm getting back into a flow of things.
In the few moments this season that Jordi hasn't been pleased with your guys' effort, he's been very vocal about it to us. Have you noticed anything, or has it been different the way that he's held you guys accountable as opposed to coaches in prior years?
I think that's what really good coaches do. They hold you accountable. They hold you to a high standard, and like you said, they're straightforward. They tell you what they expect from you, and that's what we need, especially with a younger team, and we definitely feed off of that.
And Dennis, obviously, great performance today and all season. What have you seen playing with him offensively or on both ends in terms of him being a leader on the floor as a point guard and also a voice in the locker room?
He's been great. I mean, he's been in the league for so many years, so he's a veteran point guard, and we all rally behind him. And we're still trying to connect, with our pick and roll, but it's all coming together, and he was great tonight, and as he has been the whole season.
As the longest tenured net, you've been in a lot of matchups, a lot of physical matchups with the Bucks, and today, another physical game, couple techs. What is it about playing them, and with your experience playing them longer as a net than any of these guys, that kind of makes these games have that kind of energy?
I mean, obviously, they're always one of the better teams in the East, so you want to compete, you want to have a good game, especially against those teams, and having played in the playoffs against them and just being familiar with the core that they've had since I've been in the league. So it's always fun playing against them.
Hey, Dennis, when we were talking with Jordi, in hindsight, he said, well, I probably shouldn't have had the trap on as much as I did against Giannis. That gave up a lot of threes. But he was also critical of the defensive effort to close the third and to close the fourth. I'm curious what his messaging was in there in the locker room after this.
I mean, the same thing he just told you guys. We got to be better in the end of quarters. I mean, it hurt us in the third quarter. I think they went on a 13-1. And then they had, I think, the last 6 minutes, 26 points. A lot of threes. We didn't get back with urgency. A lot of threes was open. And yeah, we gotta look at film and get better.
Dennis, what are some of, if any, positives you take away from a game like this? Is more so focused in the first half when you guys had a lot of success?
Yeah, I mean, it's no positive if you lose a game, I feel like. I mean, if you win, it's, you can get better, you can watch film and take the positive out of it. But if we lose, then we got to look at film and say, what did we screw up? And we're just going to get back, enjoy the day off tomorrow, get back on Tuesday and get to work.
You look at the start that you put together early this season. Is there anything about this system, this coaching staff, or this group of teammates that you feel like has allowed you to get off to this career best start?
No, I mean, Coach Jordi doing a good job of giving everybody confidence, having the roles defined. Everybody knows what he brings to the table. Teammates, obviously, enjoying the system and trusting the system as well. Everybody believe in each other. And we just, you never know where it's coming from. One day, CJ got 30. The next day, Cam Thomas or Clax, 21 and 10 today. You never know. We got a lot of weapons in this locker room. And I think how we moving the ball, how we play defense normally is set up, I mean, for my game as well. It's great, but for everybody else's as well.
Is there something, maybe what you just said about Jordi, that allows him to come in here and say, our effort was atrocious tonight on defense, and that's not who we are, and something about him that allows him to say that, but also for you guys to respond and take that criticism in stride?
Yeah, I mean, that's what he said. If he thinks that, then we're gonna talk about it, on Tuesday. At the end of the day, we lost the game. We gotta get better. But I think it's just everybody in this locker room. It's not just get better. Everybody talk about it, and then we move on.
Hey Dennis, was sagt das über euch als Team, vor allem eure Team-Defense aus, dass so ein Spieler wie Dame nur 15 Punkte scoret, aber vor allem 7 Turnovers produziert?
Ja, unser Spiel, wie wir gespielt haben, also wir haben 93% von der Freiwurflinie, 45% von der Dreierlinie, 50% Zweier, nur 9 Turnover. Eigentlich müssen wir das Spiel gewinnen, 24 Assists. Wie wir gespielt haben, also müssen wir gewinnen das Spiel. Es ist keine Chance, dass wir das verlieren. Und deswegen tut es natürlich weh und wir müssen Film gucken, Video gucken, damit wir so eine Spiele nicht mehr verlieren, wenn wir so gut werfen, so gut spielen als Team. Und ja.
Aber aus deiner Perspektive, was ist dann in den letzten 2 Minuten passiert, dass es dann anders ausgegangen ist?
Also die haben sehr viel Druck gemacht. Ich habe den Ball leider nicht nach vorne bringen können. Das war, glaube ich, eins der Knackpunkte. Dann haben wir nicht gewusst, was wir für Systeme laufen am Ende. Und dann habe ich den Ball mit, 5, 6, 7 Sekunden bekommen, habe versucht natürlich ein Play zu machen. Die haben 2 gute Plays, also Janis einen guten Play geblockt und dann Bobby Portis auch einen. Aber das passiert natürlich, wenn wir dann nicht disciplined sind, Ende der 4. Viertel oder Ende des 4. Viertels. Da müssen wir, wie gesagt, Film gucken, Video gucken und besser werden.